My parents chose a gender reveal over my graduation. I went no contact. The morning my parents chose balloons over me, my phone woke me up before my alarm. 8:03 a.m. Graduation day. For 3 whole seconds, before my brain fully booted up, I let myself believe it was them. I imagined the notification. Good morning, sweetheart. We're so proud of you. We're on our way. Don't trip on stage. I reached for my phone with this stupid, hopeful little smile on my face. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel to help us grow and hit the notification bell. The screen lit up. Family group chat, 42 new messages. Of course, I thought. Classic. They were probably already on campus, lost in the parking lot, sending blurry photos and voice notes complaining about the walk from the car. My mom would be texting. Where do we go? I don't see signs. Dad is driving me crazy. I opened the chat. The first picture loaded slowly on my weak dorm Wi-Fi, my aunt's backyard. Long folding tables. Pastel tablecloths. A huge cardboard sign. Boy or girl? Under it, a tower of pink and blue balloons stacked almost as tall as my uncle. My mother's caption sat right underneath, full of emojis. So excited for today. Can't wait to celebrate our beautiful Emma. My stomach dipped. Another photo loaded. Same yard, different angle. Pink and blue streamers. A photo booth backdrop. Confetti balloons. Another. Platters of food being set out. My uncle at the grill. My dad in the corner of the frame, laughing, holding a roll of tape, helping hang a baby on the way banner across the fence. I kept scrolling, waiting for it. The part where she'd say, "We're doing this early, then heading straight to campus, don't worry." Or, "We wish we could be in 2 places at once, but we're still coming to your graduation." Or at least, "Good luck, honey. We're proud of you." Nothing. More messages came in while I watched. Can't wait. So happy for you, Em. We're on our way. Don't start without us. Everyone better be here by noon. Don't be late, people will notice face with tears of joy. That last one was from my mom. 7:51 a.m. No mention of graduation. No mention of me. Just, people will notice. I stared at the words until they blurred. Behind me, my cap and gown hung from the closet door, catching a streak of pale morning light. The black fabric looked heavier than it had last night when I'd smoothed it out and whispered to myself. They'll come. They have to come. My roommate, Lena, groaned and rolled over in the other bed. That them? She mumbled, voice thick with sleep. Your parents? I swallowed. Yeah, I said, because technically it was true. It's my family. But the word family suddenly felt like a shirt I'd outgrown years ago and never noticed. A new message pinged. My aunt, we have the cake. It's so cute. Photo, a white cake with pink and blue frosting, tiny baby footprints, and in big letters across the top. Welcome, little miracle. Something inside me cracked. Loudly. Silently. At the same time. Because today was supposed to be my miracle. 4 tickets. I'd gotten 4 guest tickets for the ceremony. In my mind, I'd filled them so easily. Seat 1, Mom, crying, pretending she wasn't. Tissues in one hand, phone in the other. Seat 2, Dad, filming everything, zooming in way too much, making dumb jokes. Seat 3, Daniel, my little brother, acting bored, secretly proud, hoodie up. Seat 4, maybe Grandma. Or an aunt. Someone who'd say, we always knew you'd make it. Now those 4 seats might as well belong to the balloons. Hey, Lena said, more awake now. She sat up and squinted at me. What's wrong? I realized I'd been gripping my phone so hard my knuckles were white. They're at the gender reveal, I said. Even saying it out loud sounded absurd. My parents. They're helping set up. She blinked. Right now? This morning? I nodded. They told you they couldn't come? She asked carefully. They told me they'd try, I said. Then they stopped answering every time I asked for a yes or no. The last texts with my mom flashed in my mind like a slideshow I didn't want to watch. Me, Mom, I need to know for the tickets. Are you coming? Mom, we'll see. There's a lot happening with the family. Me, I understand. I just need a clear answer, please. Mom, you're not the only one in this family, you know. We have other commitments. Don't be selfish. Selfish. Wanting your parents at your college graduation was selfish. Lena's face hardened. Commitments? It's your graduation. I laughed, but it came out sharp and small. In my house, commitments means things people will talk about. I stood up and crossed the room to my gown. It felt heavy in my hands, like 4 years of library breakdowns and ramen diets and 3 a.m. panic attacks were stitched into the seams. For a second, I wasn't 22 in a dorm room. I was 6 again, standing on a kitchen chair while my mother yanked a brush through my hair so hard my eyes watered. "Stop fidgeting," she snapped. "We're going to be late." "I don't like this dress," I whined, scratching at the stiff lace around my neck. She tightened her grip on the brush. "It doesn't matter what you like. We're taking family photos. Your grandmother is paying good money for this. Do you want her to be embarrassed in front of the photographer?" My dad walked by, adjusting his tie. He barely glanced at me. "She looks fine." My mother scoffed. "Fine? Fine is what people say when they're being polite. I don't want fine. I want stunning. I want people to say, 'Wow, what a beautiful family.' Do you understand, Sarah?" I nodded, because not nodding made the brush hurt more. She clipped a sparkly bow into my hair so tight my scalp throbbed. "Remember," she said, "people are watching. What will they think if you look like a mess? What will people think?" Back then, it was just a phrase adults tossed around like confetti. What will people think if you don't greet them properly? What will people think if you don't eat what they made? What will people think if you cry over nothing? It took me years to realize it wasn't a question. It was a leash. "Hey," Lena said gently, coming up beside me. "You don't have to pretend this doesn't hurt." "I know," I said. "It's just stupid." She tilted her head. "What part?" "That I still cared," I said, voice cracking. I knew, deep down, this would happen. But some pathetic part of me kept picturing them in the audience. I actually believed, just for a second, that maybe this time I'd be important enough. Silence hummed between us. "You are important enough," she said quietly. "They're just not the kind of parents who can see it." My phone buzzed again. "Mom, make sure you send pictures in the group chat later. Everyone will want to see you in your gown." Face blowing a kiss. There it was. Not, "We're proud." Not, "We're sorry we can't come." Just, "Perform for us. Let us post you. Let us collect the credit." I typed a reply. "Me, are you coming?" 3 little dots appeared. Then vanished. Then appeared again. Finally. "Mom, we already talked about this. Don't start drama today, Sarah. This is supposed to be a happy day for the family." The family. Not my day. The family's day. Something cold settled in my chest. For the first time in my life, I asked the question I'd been too scared to think. What if I stopped being part of the family? And for the first time, the answer didn't terrify me as much as it should have. It felt like air. "I can stay with you the whole time," Lena said, misreading my silence. "My parents already said they want to sit with you if your family isn't here." "I don't want to ruin your day," I said automatically. "You won't." She bumped my shoulder. "My mom has already adopted you in her head. She's been calling this the girls' graduation." My eyes burned. Of course her mom had. Because in some parallel universe, I had a mother who texted too much and brought snacks and cried during ceremonies. In this one, I had a mother who painted her face with excitement for a baby that wasn't even born yet, while her own kid was about to walk across a stage she'd earned step by step, alone. I took a deep breath. "Okay," I said. "Let's get ready." Because if my family wanted a performance, they were going to get one. Just not the kind they expected. Lena squeezed my arm. "Shower first or cry first?" she asked softly. A laugh broke out of me, wet and shaky. "Maybe both at the same time." "Efficient," she said. "Proud of you already." I showered on autopilot, hot water pounding on my shoulders, my thoughts ping-ponging between past and present. Every memory of my parents cheering for someone else felt suddenly sharper. My cousin's dance recital, my mom sobbing in the front row over a routine she'd watched on Facebook 100 times. My brother's little league games, my dad yelling himself hoarse, recording every play. My honor roll ceremony freshman year, my mom dropping me off at the curb with a quick, "We'll celebrate at home, I'm double booked, you understand." I'd understood, back then. I didn't, now. When I stepped back into the room, towel around my shoulders, Lena had already hung my gown straight, laid out my clothes, and placed my cap carefully on the desk. She grinned. "You're going to look sickening in that, by the way. Is that good?" I asked. "Very," she said firmly. "Today, you are that girl. The main character." The walking I did this on my own poster. I pulled on the dress I'd picked, a simple, deep blue thing I'd bought on sale months ago and hidden from my mom's criticism. It's too plain, I could already hear. You want to blend into the crowd? Lena fussed with my hair, curling the front pieces, dusting a little highlighter on my cheeks. When she stepped back, she whistled. Damn. Your parents are idiots. I stared at myself in the mirror. I didn't look like a miracle, or a princess, or a golden child. I looked like someone who had survived. Send your mom a picture? Lena suggested gently. On your terms. I thought about it. Then shook my head. Later, I said. If I feel like it. We walked to the ceremony building together. The campus buzzed with families, dads balancing bouquets and Starbucks drinks, moms fixing crooked ties, siblings whining and posing for photos. Everywhere I looked, there were clusters of people who showed up. I felt conspicuously light. No one to hold my bag. No one to shove an umbrella at me just in case. No one to tell me I wore the wrong shoes. Just Lena, walking close enough that our shoulders kept bumping. Mom says they're in the second row, she said, checking her phone. She's saving you a seat. I swallowed the tightness in my throat. I don't know how to thank her. By letting her brag about you to strangers, Lena said. Trust me, she's in heaven. The auditorium loomed ahead, banner flapping, congratulations, class of 20XX. Students in gowns clustered for photos. I watched one girl adjust her father's tie, both of them laughing. Another girl stood between her parents while her mom fussed with her stole and her dad snapped pictures like a paparazzi. I forced my eyes away. Hey, Lena said, nudging me. Look at me, not them. I did. You're not missing out on what they have, she said quietly. They're missing out on what you are. My eyes burned again. I nodded, afraid that if I spoke, the whole fragile dam inside me would shatter. We split at the doors, graduates on one side, families on the other. Text me where you're sitting, I told her. I'll send you a picture of my mom crying, she promised. It'll count double. We hugged once, quick and tight, and then I was funneled into a line of black-robed bodies, following signs, half floating. The next hour passed in snapshots. Name cards handed out. Tassels adjusted. Someone behind me complaining about their shoes. Another girl on the phone with her mom, arguing about parking but ending with love you, see you soon. I checked my phone one more time before they took us backstage. Nothing from mom. Nothing from dad. The group chat, though, was still alive. A short video, my cousin Emma twirling, hands on her belly, everyone cheering. A boomerang of the cake cutting. A picture of my parents, side by side, arms around Emma and her husband, grinning. Underneath, my mom's caption. So proud of our growing family. These are the moments that matter most. 2 hearts. The words hit harder than I expected. These are the moments that matter most. Not 4 years of work. Not the first college graduation in our immediate family. Not me. I stared at their faces in the photo, my dad's easy smile, my mom's practiced tilt of the head pose. They looked happy. Happier than I could ever remember them looking at anything I'd done. Phones away, please, called an administrator. We're lining up. I shoved mine into the hidden pocket of my robe and got into place. As we waited to march out, the murmurs around me blended into one low hum. My heart pounded, my palms were slick, and under it all, this stubborn thought rooted itself deeper. You are here. With or without them, you are here. When the music started and the doors opened, the brightness of the auditorium lights hit me like a wave. Rows and rows of faces turned our way. People clapped, whistled, called out names. Signs waved. Cameras flashed. My eyes darted automatically to the second row, right section, where Lena had said her parents would be. I spotted them quickly, her mom, wiping her eyes with a tissue already, her dad with his phone up, scanning the procession. Next to them, an empty seat. My seat. Her mom saw me, even through the crowd of black gowns. Her face lit up. She elbowed her husband, pointed me out, and waved like I'd just come home from war. I felt my throat close. There, in a sea of strangers, I had people. Not by blood. By choice. We took our seats. The speeches started, some inspiring, some forgettable. The dean talked about perseverance, about those who supported you, about the families who sacrificed so much to get you here. I stared at the grain of the wooden stage, my jaw clenched so hard it hurt. When it was time for names to be called, our row stood. The line crawled forward, one future at a time. Look up, I told myself silently. Don't stare at your shoes. Don't give them that. As I stepped onto the ramp, I felt strangely steady. Not happy. Not okay. But solid. The announcer shuffled my card. Sarah Thompson, he read into the mic, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Cum laude. The applause that rose up felt like it belonged to someone else. I walked across the stage. No one yelled my name. No one screamed, "That's my baby." No one stood up with a bouquet or a banner. But as I reached the middle, I heard one voice pierce through the general noise. "That's our girl. Lena's mom." I glanced out and saw her, standing, hands cupped around her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Next to her, Lena was filming, grinning, her dad clapping so hard his face was red. Something inside my chest broke open, not like glass shattering, but like a window finally cracking enough to let air in. I smiled. A real one. For me. Not for a camera. Not for a group chat. Not for a "what will people think" photo. For the girl who had dragged herself through 4 years of no one noticing unless there was something to brag about. I shook the dean's hand, took my diploma cover, and walked off the stage. Backstage, another staff member whispered, "Congratulations," as she guided me down the stairs. "Thank you," I said. I meant it more than she knew. The rest blurred by. Caps in the air. More speeches. An official recessional. As soon as we were dismissed, my phone buzzed nonstop, texts from classmates, notifications from social media posts. I scanned for one specific name. Nothing from my parents. I made my way through the crowd until I heard Lena's voice. "There she is," she yelled, barreling toward me in a red dress and bare feet, heels in hand. She practically tackled me in a hug. "You did it, Dr. Trauma." "I'm not a doctor," I laughed, muffled into her shoulder. "Details," she said, pulling back. Her eyes were damp. "I'm so proud of you." Her parents hurried over behind her. Her mom wiped at her cheeks uselessly. "Oh, honey," she said, immediately grabbing my hands. "You look beautiful. Come here." She pulled me into a hug that smelled like perfume and mint gum and something I couldn't name because I'd never really had it before. "Congratulations," she whispered in my ear. "We screamed so loud when they said your name." I heard, I managed, my voice wobbling. "Thank you for being here." "Where else would we be?" her dad said, clapping a big hand on my shoulder. "Couldn't miss one of our girls graduating." Our girls. The word sank into me like warm sunlight on frozen skin. Lena's mom pulled back and held me at arm's length. "Okay, pictures," she said, businesslike. "I want at least 100. We took photos, some posed, some ridiculous. With diplomas, with peace signs, with tear-streaked faces. At one point, her mom insisted we all squish in for a selfie. "Say family," she chirped. I froze for a fraction of a second. Lena slid an arm around my waist and squeezed. "Family," she said clearly. My throat tightened. I forced the word out. "Family." The camera clicked. Later, when we were scrolling through the photos, that was the one I kept coming back to. The one where I looked a little stunned, a little teary, a little like someone who'd finally been picked for the team after a lifetime on the bench. My phone buzzed again. "Mom." Finally. "Mom, how did it go?" "Send a picture of you on stage." I stared at the message. "No, sorry. No, we wish we could have been there. Just perform. Provide content." My fingers hovered over the keyboard. For once, instead of automatically smoothing things over, I thought about what I wanted. Lena peeked at my screen. "That her?" "Yeah." "What did she say?" I showed her. She exhaled sharply. "Of course," she muttered. "She wants proof without participation." I almost laughed, because that was it, exactly. Proof without participation. "Are you going to answer?" she asked. I looked at my reflection in a window, cap slightly crooked, stole gleaming, eyes tired but clear. "I don't know yet," I said honestly. We went to lunch with her parents at a crowded diner off campus. They insisted on paying, insisted I get dessert, insisted on toasting me with clinking water glasses. "To Sarah," her dad said. "To doing the damn thing." As the day wound down and the adrenaline faded, a heavy exhaustion settled over me. Not just physical, the kind that lived in my bones, years old. Back in our dorm that evening, the gown hung limp on the back of my chair, the tassel twisted around itself. I finally opened my messages again. "Mom, hello? Mom, are you ignoring me now? Mom, don't be rude, Sarah. Just send a picture. Everyone is asking about you. Everyone. Not her. Everyone." I scrolled up once more to the photo from that morning, my parents grinning under the banner, hands on my cousin's shoulders. These are the moments that matter most. My heart felt strangely calm. I selected the selfie of me, Lena, and her parents, the family one. No stage, no podium. Just us, scrunched together, smiling. I sent it to my mom. It went fine. Before she could reply, I added. Thanks for the reminder. I learned a lot today about which moments matter. Then, for the first time in my life, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb before the anxiety could grab it back out of my hands. Lena flopped onto her bed with a sigh. Exhausted? She asked. Beyond, I said. I lay back and stared at the ceiling. Somewhere across town, my parents were probably cleaning up streamers and scraping frosting off plates, basking in the afterglow of being the perfect supportive aunt and uncle. And here I was, diploma cover on my desk, cap on my chair, silence humming in my ears. But underneath the silence, something else had started. A question I'd spent my whole life avoiding had finally stepped into the light. If they could choose balloons over me this easily, what else had they already chosen over me? And how much longer was I willing to stay? I didn't have all the answers yet. But as I closed my eyes that night, no congratulatory call from my parents, no teary voicemail, just that one curt text asking for pictures, I knew one thing with a certainty that scared and soothed me at the same time. Graduation hadn't just been the end of school. It might have been the beginning of the end of us. And I wasn't sure that was a bad thing. Not anymore. That was the day my parents chose a gender reveal over my graduation. It was also the day I started, quietly and almost without realizing it, to choose myself over them. Let me know what family saga you have experienced before in the comment section. Tell me what you will do in my situation.